not the richest person in the world. Unless you are. In that case, hello Bill, or hello Jeff, you guys seem to swap that title fairly regularly. Or maybe even hello Vlad. But, you know, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Stay tuned for more on that. Upstart are a lender who look beyond your credit score and provide a great solution to paying off credit card debt or other high-in 5 minutes. And they're gonna let you know what the rate would be today at upstart.com/brainfood. With Bernard Arnault and Warren Buffett nipping at their heels. As we previously noted in our video on the richest people in history, Bezos and Gates' combined wealth barely matches that of the known fortune of former Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi, who ruled over that oil-rich country for over 3 decades before being ousted and then killed in 2011. So how wealthy was Gaddafi? In the years since his death, so far nearly $200 billion have been found in secret accounts, real estate holdings, and other investments directly belonging to him. No matter whether he acquired it ethically or not, assets are assets, and Gaddafi had the most of any known person thus far this century by a huge margin. Another individual who has more or less ruled a petroleum-rich nation for about 2 decades now is likewise rumored to secretly have a net worth in excess of $200 billion. We're, of course, talking about Vladimir Putin. But is Putin actually the richest person in the world, or are these just rumors? To begin with, as you might imagine, being born in the Soviet Union in 1952, Putin didn't exactly start out life in the lap of luxury. In a bit of 1950s-era role reversal, his father was a cook and his mother was a factory worker. Putin himself would grow up and join the KGB in 1975, working a variety of positions with that institution over the years. While you might envision Hollywood spy-type scenarios were his daily life, in fact, according to journalist and biographer Masha Gessen, Putin and his colleagues were reduced mainly to collecting press clippings, thus contributing to the mountains of useless information produced by the KGB. The first rumor that Putin was using a government position to stash away quite a bit of money for his own personal gain came in the early 1990s, when he, in his then position as head of the Committee for External Relations at the mayor's office in St. Petersburg, allegedly helped broker a $93 million deal to acquire various food supplies for the city. In a nutshell, various companies were granted permits that would allow them to supply a huge amount of materials to foreign entities, and in exchange would be given an equivalent value back in foodstuffs to then be used within the famished city. The thing was, as far as anyone can tell, while the companies did send out the materials, no foodstuffs came back in return. The matter was ultimately investigated by one Marina Salye at the behest. In this, Putin was to blame. As a result, in return for the investigation, but ultimately Mayor Anatoly Sobchak put a stop to it and the matter was dropped. While you'll read in many outlets reporting this story that Salye would die of so-called natural causes mere weeks after she made these accusations and the investigation was killed, in truth, she would go on to help found the Free Democratic Party of Russia and more or less continually rail against Putin to anyone in the media and the public who would listen, until eventually giving up in 2000 as successor, despite before this being a relative unknown among the wider public. Ultimately, he did indeed become the president in 2000 after winning the majority vote. Once elected,